Megan Batoon.
That's
Megan
me.
Batoon.
That's me.
Megan Batoon.
You don't even know my middle name, do you?
Yeah.
And you'll never know.
Cheryl.
No. Imagine if it was Cheryl.
You said, and I'll never know.
And you'll never know.
It's not even on like Wikipedia or anything.
Oh yeah, you could Google it.
All right, let's see. Give me 5 guesses.
Girl on Fire.
Whoa, that wasn't. No, that's not gonna work for me.
Why?
Because I haven't seen that.
This girl is on fire.
Oh, I thought you were referencing some like random movie.
No.
Oh, Alicia?
Yeah.
Cool. Megan Alicia Batoon. That's pretty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mab. Zink. We change bodies.
No, we form one body.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Wait, if we were one body, what characteristics of you would you want to keep, and what characteristics of me would we want to keep? And if we were one body, are we non-binary, or are we gonna pick a gender?
Woo-wee. Man. You know, I think if we're one body, we are.
Damn.
We're a dude and we're slanging dick, man.
You think?
I think we're slanging dick.
But what if we were non-binary and we could code switch depending on the environment in which we could like get what we want?
Isn't that just bi?
No.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, because you can like present differently. Like, what if like?
Oh,
because
you mean like
if we're-
physically?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about like what we're into.
No, physically. Because like if we're one person and we're like pitching a show,
Yeah.
it's probably unfortunately better to be a man.
Yeah.
And go into these boardrooms and pitch the thing or whatever. But then like, if maybe when we're on camera, then we're a girl.
That's true, because I mean, look, pretty girl privilege is a thing.
100%.
You know, life is I'm sure it's way easier being a pretty girl.
Well, I don't know. Pretty girl and man probably both have the like privileges that are similar.
Yeah, like or at least like the same amount of good shit
Yeah.
going their way.
Yeah.
And then, you know, cons, of course.
Well, because I feel like men probably get more respect than a pretty girl, because people can be like, oh, this is a pretty girl, but they don't like really think anything more than that.
That's facts.
But if a man walks in, they're like, okay, like if I'm gonna buy a car,
yeah.
they're gonna fuck me over unless I have a man present. So like if we were buying a car, then we could be a man for that.
Right.
But if we want like free pizza at like 2 a.m., then we turn into a girl.
Or free drinks in Vegas.
Right. Or like getting into the club for free or whatever. Yeah.
What was the original question?
Which characteristics, physical characteristics of you and me would we put together?
Oh, physical.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
I know. But it's like, but why? What is the point of us?
I thought you were talking like mental characteristics.
Well, that's probably going to be more interesting to me. Let's do that. I think I'll take your like free flowy kind of like down chill.
Okay.
Like I would prefer that.
Okay. And let's combine that with your dedication and organization when you're locked in, because I need more of that. You feel me?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. If we could have a like good combo of like focus,
Yeah.
but also like, you know what? I'm not gonna stress myself. I'm not gonna kill myself over this
Totally.
of me. And like bring that together.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great.
Man. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, because just dating in 2025 is a hellhole.
I've heard from you, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, it would be so great if I could Frankenstein bits and pieces of all of the people I've been with into one perfect person.
Well, there's this episode of Seinfeld where like Jerry's doing the actual dating, and then George is like, okay, well, look, you should wear your red sweater because she said she liked it. Okay, I made your reservations, blah, blah, blah. And they're combined, we make the perfect man.
Right.
Because like one guy's paying attention, being organized, the other one's like in there for the conversation. And...
So here's my question about polyamory.
Okay.
There's something that I just recently heard of called solo poly.
All right.
And I don't really understand it quite fully, but I'm very interested in understanding it. But essentially it's like you are there for yourself and you are open to experiences with multiple people, but you're not necessarily committing to a life or living with this person. Like you have multiple partners and they don't need to meet.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this another way for me to be avoidant?
Isn't that just dating lots of people?
Right, and that was the other thing.
Yeah.
That's what people are saying. So I'm kind of confused about the term, but like I don't know.
Because if they didn't even need to know about each other, then yeah, I was solo polyamorous at one point too.
just dating
Just
people.
dating people.
throwing
And
terms.
didn't tell them about each other.
yeah. Okay, I'm solo poly. Yeah, okay, that's interesting to me. I think I get when I like someone, I'm like, I see the future, and I'm like, oh, this could be the person, and put everything on that. But
Yeah.
I'm like, what would it be like to date multiple people at the same time?
You should.
I mean, I think I'm trying.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy thing to do, especially if you're the first time like truly single in your life, man. Like you should date around.
I think I have issues with getting emotionally attached.
Yeah. Cut it out.
Cut it out?
Yeah, just like
How you gonna do that?
stop getting emotionally attached so fast.
How you do that? How you do that?
Just
Give me a step by step.
okay.
What happens when you start catching feelings for somebody?
Tell yourself this is too soon. Let me pump the brakes a little bit.
And then do what?
And then
And how? When you're like, okay, great, I'm aware that I'm putting too much emotionally into this.
yeah.
I understand that I need to pump the brakes.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Go on a date with someone else?
See, is that kind?
To who?
The other person.
I mean, well, who's to say they're even on the same level as you, though?
Who's they?
Like
The new people that you're dating to get over the
oh,
other
to
people?
get distracted. You're not getting over. You're experiencing different people.
I know. And so that's like opening up the roster.
Yeah. It's like you're going to hometown buffet
Okay.
and you're getting a little scoop of something here and a little scoop of something there. You don't want to get full.
Right.
You don't want to get full. So you maybe take a bite of your pizza slice, you put it down, because you don't want to get full. And once you feel yourself, this is kind of filling.
Yeah.
You're like, but I do want to try the lasagna.
Yes.
You go get a plate of lasagna, try that out.
Right.
Your plate of pizza's still there.
Totally.
Because cold pizza's really good.
True.
You can go back to that. Have your lasagna, and then fried chicken.
Right.
Fried chicken is there as well. Get you a bite of that. It's been under the heat lamp, chilling
Well,
all day.
Maybe not chilling.
Maybe not chilling.
it's
Growing salmonella a little bit, but it's still okay.
Right. Okay. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. I think I can do that. Great. Well, my problems are solved.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of Thanks for Tipping.
Silly.
Checking in. How are you?
How am I? Now that we're talking about dating, I live in a kind of small neighborhood
Okay.
where I have like dated some people in the neighborhood.
Okay, fun.
It kind of is fun because it's almost like Beauty and the Beast where it's like bonjour, but with all my exes or like all my situationships. So like yesterday I was at the coffee shop and I was sitting at this table that had like the legs were uneven. So I was like, oh, let me go get a thing to fix it because I just love fixing things. And so I go inside to get the little sleeves to put under. And as I'm walking out of the door, my ex situationship that I like was in this like, what are we for like 6 months, but like caught feelings for him. And it took me like a long time to get over it.
Okay.
As I was leaving the door, he was walking into it. And the
Okay.
last time I saw him, he pretended to not see me
Okay.
in the same coffee shop.
Oh, shit.
So this is a fun, like, oh, look at life progressing moment.
Yeah.
Where, like, I didn't expect to see him, but I was, like, walking out, and we caught eyes, and I go, hey. And he put both of his hands on my shoulder. He goes, hey. And we just passed.
Fun.
And that was it. And I was just like, life moves on. Like, I remember crying over this person.
and then he went and sat at that coffee table. He's like, why isn't my shit crooked like it usually is? Who the fuck?
Yeah. I made his life better when I was in it, and I'll make the next person's better,
And
too.
then you went through, and then everyone's like, that weird ass girl in her books. The baguettes. The baguettes.
The baguettes.
So
Baguettes.
how small is this neighborhood?
It's kind of small.
Interesting.
Like speaking of a roster, if I were to like go down my roster, like they all live in this city.
Interesting.
And I wouldn't even call it a city. Like it's a village.
Oh, word.
It's like small.
Okay.
I love it. I love like living in LA, but living in a small little
Yeah,
town.
a little pocket.
That feels like it's very neighborhoody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the issue would be like if I'm walking and I run into one of them with another one, then it's like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe you like it. Maybe you love the drama.
Yeah,
maybe you love fixing things because you
Ooh.
know that you're damaged.
Oh!
And you can't fix yourself, Megan Batoon.
Yeah! So I just do it externally because I'll never be well inside.
Maybe you're that wobbly table, huh?
I am much more than a wobbly table. The table is like spaghetti. Just like cooked. One's like one leg is cooked spaghetti. One is like half broken.
Yeah, and one's just fusilli.
Nice. Yes. You
Just
silly.
a little squiggly
Wait,
leg.
if you were a piece of pasta,
Yeah.
what type of shell would you be? Or like what?
Probably fusilli
Sick.
because I'm silly.
I like bucatini because it's like it's kind of traditional, but then there's like a hole inside, so you're like just empty.
You've thought about this before.
What?
You've thought about
No,
this
I
before.
haven't. I just love bucatini.
You answered that so fast.
You answered it fast.
Well, because also go back, Seinfeld reference.
This bitch loves Seinfeld.
I do. Kramer makes a little tiny action figure of Jerry out of fusilli pasta.
Really?
Because he's silly, and then fusilli's just also my favorite pasta go-to in terms of
Is
like,
it?
my choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
worked at California Pizza Kitchen, I would sub everything for fusilli. I feel like it holds the sauce in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That's just me,
Yeah.
Mr. Fusilli.
Nice. Well,
That's my check-in.
okay.
Tossing it to you.
Checking in. Physically, again, 2 weeks ago you saw me and my voice was it okay or was it not as okay? I forget. Fast forward 2 weeks. I'm also on the mend of something again, but I had a really kind of intense cough.
From traveling, you think?
Well, you know what? It's tough to say because we went to Toronto with Chia's family and to visit Chia's family, and everybody was fine. Everyone was healthy. Then we came back from Toronto. Chia's parents came with us. Her dad got kind of sick, said he went back, said oh my gosh, he has bronchitis. I don't think I have bronchitis, but
Yeah.
and then Q, like a few days ago, he was the only sick one. He was like nose, cough, and it sucks seeing a little sick baby. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, and they're like, the way they cough.
Yeah.
Does he cough like that? Like he's about to yak?
Pretty much, but you could tell, when you just feel that like juice in your like lungs and it hurts, and so he would cough and then like his face would just like
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
it hurt, So we're all fine, but then now like the whole house has what he had. So Veyda,
So everyone is
Veyda
sick.
has a cough. She has a cough. I have a cough. I'm like on the end of it. I thought I escaped, and then I went to Coachella, and I came back, and who knows if some dirty someone at Coachella was just in my face, or maybe it was Q shit. But I have a cough.
Yeah.
So physically I'm like ugh, but I feel better than the last couple of days for sure.
That's good.
But mentally, I'm on a little bit of I just feel good because
Hell yeah.
I had this shirt on yesterday. I put it on just to go to the grocery store real quick. I came back in the house and Veyda looks at me. She goes, "Daddy, you look handsome." And I was like, "Thanks, baby." She goes, "I like this shirt." I was like, "Thank you, baby."
Oh, okay.
And then so I was
You
like,
never
"Thank you."
take that shirt off.
And then I got dressed today. I'm in the living room for breakfast. And Veyda's like, she comes up and she's like, "Daddy, put that shirt on again." And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "I like that shirt." I was like, "All right."
Whoa.
And I'm like, and she just like was gassing me up about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Thanks, baby." It's like, I'll buy 5 more of these if you like it that much.
That's cute.
And that's like so, because sometimes, Chia's not a very complimentary person.
Okay.
And we've had the conversation before where like, that's kind of like, I like to be gassed up.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm
you
saying?
mentioned
that's
that.
like kind of like my love language. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I know.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Like, I know that you think I'm cute, but it'd be nice to hear it sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
So like Veyda's fucking gassing me up, and she was like, "Wow, look at you, daughter speaking your love language." I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." And not only that, was she like totally complimenting me. She was fucking so sad again that I left the house, which is also ego boost for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like on cloud 9 of like my daughter loving me so much and also thinking I'm cute. So it's like
That's cute.
I feel great.
Hell yeah.
Since the main woman in my life doesn't compliment me,
So stupid.
doesn't miss me.
Doesn't miss me. Hates my shirt.
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, lovely. So I guess we're both in a okay place.
No, I'm in a great place. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm in a great place because I'm choosing to be in a great place despite the dating climate.
And that is the best thing you can do. Because who cares about fuck these dudes, Megan Mattoon.
But actually, because it really is that.
Because actually, who cares?
Yeah,
You know?
not me.
No, you don't care, do you? Oh,
Sometimes.
a little bit.
Sometimes depends on the time.
And that's okay. That's all right. Your hair looks great. The boots look
Thank you.
great.
Hair and the boots. That's all that matters. They're carrying me through this life.
You maybe Mattoon, you know, maybe just maybe you're just overthinking yourself out of all these dudes, you know? Maybe you should just calm the fuck down.
Calm the fuck
Just
down.
relax and you know, it'll happen when it happens, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you hear about the life that might be on another planet, like over 100 light years away?
Yeah, I saw that article and I gasped, but then I thought, it's nothing we didn't already know.
Right.
You know?
Right. But yes, agreed. Here's a question. If the life on that planet could give us anything.
I'm definitely having sex with an alien, yeah. Yes, to answer your question.
Okay,
yes.
well, I already knew that. But, okay, they can solve anything minuscule, any small, annoying problem. They can't, like, save the world or climate change or, like, racism. Like, they can't do that. But anything that's, like, really annoying and tiny that just, like, gets in the way of human life, but they can fix it, or they have a solve, or they have some sort of thing that makes it easier or takes it away. What would you want that to be?
If they could make it so that I never had to poo right after a shower, that would be great.
Really? Is that super annoying for you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you've already like washed your whole like butt and everything, and then you have to poo, and then it's like, ugh. Then like the best you got is either like wet wipe to your best ability or like wash your ass again. It's just more time consuming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, if they could just be like, you know what, here, boom, right after you shower, your poo is like your poo for the day has been your poo for the day. You're good.
Nice.
Then I would take that.
Okay. I think I would take them, like, I would take hunger. Like, we don't have to eat.
Ever?
You can eat for pleasure, but you don't have to eat to live.
Okay.
Like, do you know how much time we waste having to feed ourselves to sustain life?
This is true, but then, I mean, but think about, because when I think about that now as a grown-ass man,
GAM?
my favorite things to do, as a GAM with MAB, my favorite things to do socially is sit down at a restaurant.
But you can still do that, but you don't have to, you don't
it doesn't
don't
have to
feel
be to, like,
hunger.
yeah, okay.
you
I
can
feel
still,
that.
like, enjoy the flavors.
And without gaining weight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be cool. Oh, yeah, I mean, look. Oh, okay, well then fine then. Fine. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay.
If I could just eat what I wanted without it affecting my fucking cholesterol, that would be great.
Do you have bad cholesterol?
I do.
I
It's
mean,
high.
Look at the stuff you eat.
I mean, I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean?
How do you feel about Guy Fieri?
I
Like, would you ever want a show like that? Like,
I would
'cause
love
you're
a
like,
show like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love a show like that.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I was Guy Fieri for Halloween one year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thai Fieri.
Thai Fieri. That's exactly.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. On when I shoot with David, we would say, "All right, Thai Fieri and Fabi Flay."
Oh. Wait, I want one. What? Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Mabsy.
Horden. Oh.
Horden. Damsey. Horden Damsey.
Horden Damsey. I like it.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess those are we solved the but those still feel like too that you gotta have like alien superpowers for that.
To what?
No, I feel like if you're talking about it can't solve like world problems, I feel like those are pretty.
Oh well, yeah, hunger.
Those are still
pretty
big, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we went small enough.
I would. You know what I did yesterday?
What?
I was at a restaurant and I just chose the first thing that I saw, and I decided it was the first thing that I was like. The first thing that stopped my eyes,
Yeah.
it was like a fried chicken, whatever, sandwich. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to choose to not even look for more.
Oh.
I'm going to choose. That caught my eye, and I'm going to go with it.
That's crazy.
So I think I would maybe take away like indecisiveness.
All right.
Or like it would just be easy. Like there's a book called Blink.
Yeah.
And I think it's by Malcolm Gladwell, and it's like, regardless of if you're thinking split-second decision or if you're thinking about something for a long time, you kind of end up in the same place with the same solution.
Yeah.
So it's like your gut instinct is always right.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at this big-ass menu, I was like, there it is. And I just leaned into it.
Was it delicious?
It was delicious.
Where was it from?
Fred's 62 in Los Feliz. It was like a diner.
Fire.
Yeah.
You know what I have to do now when I'm at restaurants? Not now. I had to do this ever since someone told me to do this. Because I always go back and forth between either one option or the other option.
Okay.
So I'll order it. I'll order one and I'll see how my heart feels.
Yeah.
And then that, like, let's say I'm like, okay, I want to either the fried chicken sandwich or like, I don't know, the chorizo tacos, right? And I'm like, I don't know. Should I do fried chicken sandwich, tacos, sandwich tacos? And the server comes, I'm like, I'll take the sandwich. And then they go, okay. And I go, no, tacos. Or else I'll just sit there and regret it the whole time, you know?
That's funny. I know. Imagine being judged. I'll take the tacos, and they're like, okay.
You know what? I've told this story before, but I'm gonna tell you because you've never heard it.
Okay.
When I first started working when I went on my job interview for California Pizza Kitchen, this was like a lesson in life for me, all right? Because for one, I walked up, turned in my application, not ready for the interview at all. I was literally wearing like fucking Tim's in LA.
I know. Remember when that happened? You would like give an application. They're like, it's time.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
So I walk up, I'm literally wearing like an LRG bomber jacket with fur, fucking Tim's. And I walk up, I'm like, here's my application. And the guy's like, okay, let's have an interview. And I was like, right now? He's like, yeah. I'm like, and I was like, I have fur on. And he was like, it's okay. I was like, all right. So I sat down for the interview. We're doing the interview. It's great. I'd already taken a high school class to kind of like give you interview skills and shit too.
Oh, cool.
And they teach you a few like core things. One being like make the restaurant feel special. Like if they ask like, why do you want to work at TPK? Don't just be like, oh, I just like
need
food.
a job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need a job. I like food. Be like, you know what? I love the customer service, California Pizza Kitchen. And I've always felt like whenever I eat here, I always felt like the server treated me with such blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I could do that. Shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking. He's like, what's your least favorite food? And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like everything.
You're
And
like, pizza, actually.
and he's like, well, just name something you don't really like. I'm like, I don't know, bell peppers, I guess. So, and he's like, okay, tell me about your bell pepper pizza. And I went, yeah.
shit!
And I did this. I went,
Oh.
well, to be honest, it's not. And he went, and I was like, oh, yo, run it back. Do it again. Do over. He's like, okay, tell me about your bell pepper pizza. And I went, I love this pizza. And he went, there you go.
He's like, you're ready for Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. And that like clicked something in my brain. I was like, yes, to make it in life, you gotta just lie a little bit. You gotta do a little people pleasing. You gotta play the game. I was like,
It's such an important skill to know. I mean, when I started working in this industry, I remember like one of my first team members was like, you need to be a lot more excited on these calls. And I was like, oh, like I thought, I don't know, I'm just on this call and it's information. Let's go.
Yeah.
But they're like, before we even start, like make them feel special.
Yeah.
Gas it up. I'm like, oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's a song and dance of it all.
The song and dance, you gotta do a little bit.
A little razzle dazzle. It's kind of fun.
I think so.
Yeah.
I and I've been told I'm weird for that. But like I said, man, I enjoy that process.
Weird for putting it on?
Weird for enjoying that aspect of like life things. Like, for example, not only like I did have fun doing like a job interview and kind of presenting myself, and the same way I enjoy the courtship stage
Yeah.
of dating. Like, I
mentioned
like
that.
first dates and shit like that. You know, a lot of people don't like it. I do like it, you know?
Do you think all of that is like a through line into loving performing? Because like in a job interview, in a dating
Yeah.
situation, in like an executive meeting, you're kind of like performing. You're like on stage in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I just, you know, like, the through line is, I like the challenge of impressing people, you know?
That's
And, like,
interesting.
and to an extent being, like, showing them that, like, oh, I like this, you know,
Yeah.
but like kind of like putting on this little entertaining show where they're like, oh yeah,
yeah, and you do.
I'll return, I'll come back for this,
Right,
I'll suck this guy's dick,
Okay.
and
That's
I'm like,
them saying
thank
that?
you, job interviewer. yeah, that's them saying that. That's always the goal for
Oh my God.
every interview, every person to leave the conversation with me thinking that.
Great. I think for me, that's where it starts, and then I have to talk and be like, "Oh, she's smart." So it's not like me having to be impressive. It's me having to be like, "Oh, she has something going on."
I have
in there."
actual value here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word. The reverse.
The reverse.
All right. Well, shall we take a question or two?
Let's do it.
Hi, Katie from New Zealand here. My question is about friends being formed at work and becoming best friends outside of work, but also creating healthy boundaries between the two. Like, what is it? I think it's church and state. Yeah, we're a little trio at work, trio. Everybody knows we're a trio. Not that we're like the cool kids and we don't talk to anybody. We love everyone. However, we're just, that trio. But yeah, we're just sort of struggling with how to keep the two separate, but still enjoying each other's company. Thank you for your help. Love watching you guys.
New Zealand.
First of all, where's your cool accent?
Yeah, what the heck? We were robbed.
You just sound regular.
Regular American.
Yeah. Where's your? Because I love a New Zealand accent. Because it's like it's Australian, but they always do more of a question. It's more like, oh, you ever watch Flight of the Conchords?
Oh wait, I think I saw like the pilot.
Yeah, but it's like
I liked that.
New Zealand accent. It's more, they do more of a question. It's always, everything sounds more like they're asking something.
New Zealand is the farthest place I think on Earth from us.
From us.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I think so.
Dude,
I think so.
I would love to go to New Zealand.
Me too.
I just think, and plus I love Flight of the Conchords, so in my head, everyone out there is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. This is an interesting question because I am kind of having to deal with this a little bit.
Really?
In terms of, because after I got rid of all of my businesses before I moved to the desert, I was like, I only want to work with my friends.
Yeah.
But they say that you shouldn't create businesses with your friends. And so some of my business ideas that I'm forming now, I have people in mind of like, oh, this would be a great creative director. Oh, this would be great, even like my design partner. Like I've got so many partnerships that are like budding into these businesses, but like they say you shouldn't go into business with your friends. So I am like, what? I mean, it's kind of different from this, but it is like friends and business. Like, how do you mix those?
Well, you know what? Well, I also feel like I wish I had more context with this. Like, is this an office building or is it like a California pizza kitchen? You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like an office building.
Yeah, but okay, well, same shit. Like, if it's an office building, I don't see why the personal shit would affect the work shit at all.
Yeah, unless it was like romantic.
Yeah. I feel like the easiest thing is just be wary of what you talk about at work.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people can know your friends. Like, people
Yeah.
have friends at work. There's like work boyfriends, work husbands and shit. You know, it's like, yeah, have your homies at work. Just don't bring the personal conversations around other people where they can sue you for sexual harassment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. I know. That is like a interesting little tidbit. Because like have you seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
Long time ago, don't remember anything.
Sure. Okay. So there's just like one scene where there's like a trio of girls working in the cubicle or in this office space, and they like huddle around their cubicles and they're just like gossiping. So it's like I think you're gonna end up talking about stuff with your coworkers that is not work appropriate no matter what.
For sure.
So
yeah, there's just a certain line you got to be cautious of. Like I worked with Super Ego at CPK for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? We're besties, of course, from high school, but also everybody at CPK got really close, and I almost got fired for sexual harassment because I was so cool with one of my homegirls there. I like squeezed her booty as she was walking out, and a customer saw and was trying to have me fired for sexual harassment.
oh my god.
When I was like, when my homegirl didn't care, like literally no one at work cared except for the person that was sitting at the table eating, and they saw that and they were like, "That's inappropriate. He needs to be fired."
Whoa.
And then my boss at the time, he was so cool. He was like, "I'm not gonna fire you, bro. This is stupid."
This is stupid. I'm not gonna fire you.
Yeah. But so you got to be careful with that. Where
With squeezing people's butts.
with squeezing butts.
Sure. I mean, regardless of where you are, you should probably
No.
be
If you're around friends, you can squeeze all the butts you want. You know, but if you're around people that you don't know,
Yeah.
you got to be careful whose butt you're squeezing if you're in a professional setting or whatever.
or whatever is what they said.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so we solved your problem. Bye. As far as you
This is my problem.
working with friends, okay. So I've been working with Rick since we started like YouTube, basically. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I've always had him in sketches.
Yeah.
And then we have Goody together.
Mm-hmm.
And we have No Chaser. I brought him on as my co-host for No Chaser. And for me, I think the key to maintaining friendships when you're working together is to be super transparent
Yeah.
about everything, especially money.
Especially money.
Yes.
Especially money.
Because that's where shit gets cloudy and complicated.
course.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've always tried to make sure that with everything, because that's the last thing I would want for some shit like that to get in the way of me and Rick's friendship,
Right.
is to be like, look, this is what's going on with this. This is what they said. Like, you know, even if like, if I need to show him contracts, not that he wouldn't trust what I'm telling him, but I've show him like actual contracts, like, look, this is what this is, so he doesn't ever feel like I'm dicking him over in any way. You know what I'm
Totally.
saying? And because of that, it's like, why would there be any reason to be mad at each other? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I think that's the key. You can work with your friends.
Well, yeah, that's what I want. That's the goal. But there's so many people that have horror stories like, don't mix friends and business.
I mean, it's also tough if you're the boss. If you're the boss running shit, because some friends might not like being
Like a hierarchy.
Yeah, the hierarchy of it. Because I do remember, I mean, and granted, we were young too, but when we were filming High School Sucks the Musical that never came out, like, PD Flow, you know, he was like the director and also kind of like the director producer for this movie we're doing. So he's kind of running everything. And we all got kind of annoyed at him trying to be Mr. Boss with us. We're like, oh, we're not gonna.
But it was
listen.
his project.
But it was his shit.
Oh, okay,
you know?
but just because you were friends, you were like, I'm not gonna listen to this fool.
Yeah, and granted, like, yeah, like I wrote like most of the music and like, you know, and I wrote some of the script and shit, right? But yeah, it was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we were, and you know, we kind of had to have conversations where he's like, hey, I know we're all homies, but can you guys not like fuck with me in front of like the extras and the other people? You're kind of like, you're like undermining me, and you know, we were taking away his authority in front of people.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was all kind of a learning process. And I actually, like, years later, I apologized to him. I was like, you know what, dog? Yeah, we're kind of assholes to you on set. I apologize for that. Like, we're so young, you know, we were probably 21, we started doing this shit. So,
Right.
you know, stuff like that. I think there's also the people who are in charge and you might get a power trip, you know? So I think those are the dangers of working with friends.
Right.
The hierarchy.
Yeah. What was interesting in my past, like I had an assistant one time that became my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really tough, especially when like she quit.
Right.
And then it was just like, yeah, I think it gets so messy because when you're spending a lot of time with somebody, if you're in a working relationship, like you're gonna get close to them.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, it gets so messy.
And you're one to catch feelings fast, so.
I am. I mean, I know I can't like have a blanket statement, but like, are most women like this or am I broken?
I wouldn't say, I also wouldn't make a blanket statement. I do feel like that girls in generally speaking, not a blanket statement, shut up.
Mm-hmm. Little throw.
are so quick to not, you know, for lack of a better word, like just latch onto something that they like at first. You know what I'm saying? Like catch feelings really fast. Like girls will do this way more often than guys, where you meet a girl one night and oh my god, all of a sudden we're besties. And you don't even know this girl. Oh my
You're
god,
talking about girls with girls?
Girls with girls.
Sure.
Oh my god, we're best friends now.
Right, like in a woman's bathroom in a club.
Yes.
Never seen more girlhood in my life.
You have one great interaction, and now, oh my god, this is my best friend for life. You're telling her everything. You're hanging out with her every night, and then girls are so confused when this fucking bitch stabbed me in the back. I don't even know this bitch. Well, obviously, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, I thought that was my best fucking friend, and like, he fucked my boyfriend, whatever. But it's like you don't even know this person. And all of a sudden, you guys are besties. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So maybe it is all girls.
Maybe it
You're
is
not
all
broken,
girls.
or maybe all girls are broken
Well. Well.
because of these trash ass men.
That's right. Well, that's why they say like U-Haul lesbians when it's like do you know that term?
U-Haul?
U-Haul lesbians?
No.
So because women are so, what I've heard from my lesbian friends is like women are so, I mean like we're deeper than men. So whenever you get two girls that are,
Wow, blanket statement.
I think I can say that one actually. I'm sure it's not all men. I'm sure some men are also very deep, but like women are generally more emotionally. There's a lot more going on.
Oh, okay. I think yes, women are more not only you're more open to going deep like faster too. I
Yeah.
think guys might be a little more guarded, and you know, we've been told by society that we're not supposed to open up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So-
and I don't like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, when two girls start to date, they also say like a first date with two girls is like 3 days long. Like it's just like a whirlwind, and
Yeah.
then like they're moving in with each other. That's why it's a U-Haul lesbian. It's like you're moving in right away. Like they're
see.
just moving really fast.
Right.
And I wonder if it is because they connect on a deeper level, and also you're both girls.
Yeah.
Like you have that shared experience, and then you're already deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just getting a connection that you don't really get with men.
Yeah.
So it's just like enhanced. Everything is exaggerated.
Yeah, man. I think as a guy, you kind of automatically avoid that because you don't want to. You're told not to open up too fast. You know.
I'm like, and why? You saw my body take a screenshot?
Yeah, I did.
I don't get it.
Well, it's because for one, it's like, you know, emotionally. Well, I've always been a very like emotional dude,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like growing up, maybe it's TV, maybe it's like society, but it's like, okay, if you got to be a man, you got to man up. You know what I'm saying? Man up, like stop being a little bitch. You know, like
Right.
stop crying. You know. So it's like when you're first meeting a girl and you're on a first date or something like that, you almost are hesitant to even get emotional or open up too quick because you don't know if that girl's thinking, oh, this guy's a pussy. First date. Oh, this guy's weak. You know, you almost want it to be a situation where as she gets to know me, oh, she's peeling back layers, and you find out how deep you are or how emotional you can be, but you don't want to do that on the first date because you're told that it's weak. You know, so you don't want to be weak on the first date. You know, so that's why it's like, I think guys automatically will go in guarded with a little more of like, I'm not going to open up yet because how it comes off, you know?
Well, as a man, like, what do you think is weak? If like, because clearly, I think we all know now that vulnerability is a strength, and opening up is not weak, and crying is not weak.
Right. I mean, now that if I was dating now as like a grown man, you feel me? I'm sure it would be different because I'd be dating grown women, and everybody's in fucking therapy now, so the conversations are different.
It would be nice
You
if
know,
everyone was.
I'm referencing 20-something-year-old me dating a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I
right.
think a lot of conversations might be different.
Sure. That's true.
Yeah. So what would I see as weak in what, like a woman?
No, in a man, like if you don't think that.
Oh, well, now looking
what
at
what is weakness?
Yeah, I
look
feel-
like to you?
I feel like, well, now, you know, I mean, like it's opposite, right? I feel like a guy that would refuse to open up or ever be emotional, like that's weak. You feel me? Like I think you gotta be willing to be in touch with your feelings and communicate with that. Communicate how you feel. I think a dude that thinks everything is gay is weak. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, what are you so afraid of?
Right.
About, like, coming off, you know?
Right.
Just like, you know, you're a toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Especially being married for so long and knowing how important communication is and being able to really, like, tell somebody what you're feeling in that moment, because that's how you avoid, like, arguments and, like, you know, and that's how you really fix the problems, is to really just be straight up with someone and tell them how you feel. I think, you know, now, I mean, I always knew communication was important, but, like, in marriage, it's, like, the most important, you know?
Totally.
So, yeah, I feel like that's probably the weakest shit, is not being able to do that.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Have we talked about acro yoga ever?
What's that?
It's yoga that you do with two people. You could do it with more people too, though. But what I love about acro yoga, it's funny because there's, like, a studio near my house, and, like, I only go when I'm kind of dating someone.
Okay.
And so, like, these instructors have seen me with, like, multiple people, and it's almost like a litmus test of, like, are you going to be a good communicator or not? And like, acro yoga and escape rooms are two situations and environments where if you don't know if this person is right for you or if you're gonna, like, do well, those are two great places to be to test it out. I remember being in an escape room with a guy that I was dating, and he, like, found a clue and couldn't get over it. He was like, the back of this, like, shirt says 91601, and I'm like, great, we don't have any locks that have 5 numbers right now, but keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Let's move on and find other things. But he was like, but 91601! And I'm like, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst is when I know that I'm right, like, go on when I went on a date with that guy on the hike.
Oh, yes,
He
hike
was like,
boy.
hike boy, haircut, hike boy. He was like, well, let's go this way. And I was like, that's not the way.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm going to let him be wrong and not be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
So we went, and it was, like, very wrong. And
Yeah.
then we were, like, not safe.
Yeah.
And then we turned around, and I was just like, I feel, I don't even remember where I was going, because I realized that I tangented so far from what I was saying about acro yoga. Man, I think maybe I should start taking my ADHD medication.
No.
You right. But wait, okay, so acro yoga.
Okay. 'Cause is it that shit where you, like, are forced to look in the eyes and stuff?
Well, it is eye contact, but it is more body contact. So what I like about acro yoga is it is super collaborative, and you have to communicate.
Okay.
And it's so, one little move could change the entire thing. So you have to be really present with each other.
Okay.
And there's even, like, when you're holding hands and you want, like, a little bit more weight on one side, you squeeze that hand.
Oh,
So you're, like,
interesting.
talking without or you're communicating without talking.
Interesting.
And then as soon, anyone can say down, whether it's the flyer at the top, the base at the bottom, or the spotter, anyone can say down, and at that exact moment, you stop.
Oh.
And I think it's really nice because it's so much listening and communication and trust and, like, working together.
Okay.
It's so fun.
Interesting. You know, I'd be curious to see how me and Chia would do in that situation, or an escape room.
I think you should. I think she might like it.
You know what? We might like it because it'd be funny to see how we would do. Because I tell you what having kids has taught us
Yeah.
is that we function so differently. And up until we had kids, it was like, this is great because we balance each other out, right? It was like, I'm more of like a free-flowing blah, 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 and the ADHD is hitting, and I'm like making shit happen on the fly when I need to, and I get it done. But she's much more of a, I'm fully prepared for this, if just in case of this, and very organized and down to a T, her shit. And up until the babies, it was like, oh, this is functioning great. And now that we have two styles of getting shit done, and we're trying to focus it onto one person, one baby, it tends to create levels of like, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it like that. But if that's what you do, all right, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's very less like, oh, no, I get that, I just don't see the big deal.
So in this situation, like say that Veyda's going through a problem, and then you guys will talk about how to solve the problem with each other, or you will give her the options.
It's almost like, you know, me and Chia have had talks where I'm like, you know, she'll be like, hey, when you did that, like, hey, make sure you don't do that. And I'm like, oh, honestly, for me, I didn't see why that was a big deal.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Where she, you know, I can't think of anything specific, but she's like, you know, when you do that, it might create like a bad habit. And in my head, I'm like, but but who cares?
Who cares about the bad habit?
Yeah, I'm like, but why not just let them have a little fun? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard to really make my point when I can't think of a specific.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like that where she has a specific way she thinks about this, and I'm like, is it that serious? Where I'm like, it's cool, and she's like, no, but it's this. You feel me? So, but at the end of the day, you know, we have a talk about it. We figure out what is actually important. Where she's like, okay, well, she might be like, I see why it's not a big deal. Hey, cool. If we're having fun sometimes, let's have some fun, right? And I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying. Grand scheme of things, yes, it's a bad habit. I'm not that concerned about it. Let's do it your way. You know what I'm saying? Where we kind of have new conversations now because of just we function so differently. So as far as escape room would go, because we used to say, oh, we would do great on Amazing Race because we work so well together. You balance me out. But now we're like, oh, how would it actually go? It might be a kind of like a clusterfuck of us trying to figure it out.
Right.
Because we also, not only do we function differently, now that we've learned more about how we function together with these kids, is that we also realize like we communicate differently when it's time to like work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we work differently is the main shit too. Where
you work work for a living.
Like
work?
When it's time to handle business, we just communicate differently, okay? And there have been times where she'll be like, "Hey, can you get this thing on the chair?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm looking at like 5 different chairs, and I'm like, which chair are you talking about? Be more specific. And in her head, she's like, obviously, it's the chair there by the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, yo, it's not obvious. We have lots of chairs.
Right.
And then other days, she'll be like, can you get the scissors? On the red chair in the kitchen? And I'm like, well, okay, now you don't have to be so specific. I'm not stupid. I know it's this one because we're talking about this. So it's like we've run into a lot of that.
Oh my God, you gotta find the Goldilocks of the amount of specificity.
You know, it's just so we'll see. We actually we were supposed to go on Amazing Race twice, but these motherfuckers are so stupid. Originally, they hit us up to audition. They approached us to audition. I sent in my adorable audition tape because I usually would not want to do reality TV.
Okay.
But I said, let's do it because she really likes that show. I said, this is different from like reality, like trash TV. Let's do it. Submitted adorable tape, fill out their whole long ass application, and they said, you know, guys, sorry, the spot's filled up. I'm like, you guys are you kidding me? And I thought maybe it's because we were young and I put in the application because it asked like, do you guys argue about stuff? And what is your biggest arguments about? And we were like, oh, we don't really argue. So I thought maybe it's because they were looking for drama.
Yeah.
And then so years later, they hit us up again. And then I was like, oh, well, I can't really do it with my wife because we just had kids. But what if I did it with David? Submitted. They're like, yeah, that'd be great. Submitted with David. Filled out all the reasons why we argue, why we butt heads. Sent an adorable, hilarious audition tape.
Yeah.
Again, they were like, oh, guys, we're going to. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh my God.
Annoying.
And that's like modern dating. People come to you and they're like, hey, what if? And they're like, actually, that would be great. And like, nah, spot's been filled.
I also need to know what happened when you went the wrong way on the hike. I need to.
Well, I just let him be wrong, and I just knew that. I just let people be wrong now instead of being like, I think it's this. It's like, even though that I know that I'm right, it's okay. You can be right for the time that you think you're right, and then we turn around and you're wrong, and then then we something else.
Haha, you feel stupid, and guess what? We're never gonna see each other again. So who cares?
Yeah.
And for the rest of his life, but what if he's like, man, I told her we were supposed to go this way, and then she went the wrong way. And
Oh,
then,
he thinks I'm wrong? Oh, God. He can think that.
Well, at least he was cute.
That's true. I color matched his eyes the other day. Ugh,
Oh, you guys still hang out?
I'm catching feelings.
Oh, you're still hanging out with this guy?
Every now and then. I color matched his eyes. 1,000 Oceans is the color.
You color matched his eyes as in you have a picture of his eyes.
Well, no, I was in my design studio,
Uh-huh.
and I have like color swatches, like books of
And he was
paint.
with you?
Yeah, he had come over because I make flowers every Sunday.
Uh-huh.
So he came on Flower Day. He brought flowers for Flower Day.
Adorable.
And we made a flower arrangement. We made a few because I do one for like every room.
Yeah.
And I asked him what he wanted to feel this week. Because that's what I do when I go to Trader Joe's. I'm like, what is this week? What's happening? What do I want to feel like? Like, is it springtime? Like, I just use whatever what life feels like.
Yeah.
And then I use that as the inspiration because I'm looking at them every day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all of my flower arrangements, I have like one in next to my sink. So, like, brushing my teeth, like, in the morning and night. Like, I'm always looking at these flowers. So,
Yeah.
it's like a reminder of what I want to feel.
Mhm.
So, I was asking him what he wanted to feel. And he said acceptance. He was like working on this movie and he's like acceptance. So I was like, great. So we like made it was so fucking cute.
That's adorable.
I know, but that's the issue.
Well, I feel like this is cute. You should let yourself catch feelings in this situation. It sounds great.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he said we're incompatible in the long term, I don't want to get hurt.
Oh, he said that?
Well, that's what I heard.
What were the exact words?
I think it was those. I think it was like, I don't know if we're compatible long term, but like we had just met. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you're trying to talk yourself out of this, then fine.
Yeah,
But,
that's
like,
weird.
Yeah, I want like it was very cute. And he was like, we were doing the arrangements and he was like, well, you're the only one that's going to be looking at these. And I was like, says who? He could be looking at them too.
That's true. And are you concerned that he watches the podcast? What if he watches the podcast?
No, I don't think he like barely goes on the internet,
Okay.
which is
Well, what if someone like, what's the color of his eyes again?
1,000 Oceans.
What if someone's watching and they're like, 1,000 Oceans eyes? Is that fucking yo, dude? That chick?
Why are you saying his name? Insane thing to say.
That's not his name.
That is his name.
What?
You didn't know that?
No, you've never told me his name?
I have to go.
That's crazy.
Wait, just bleep it because that's crazy.
That's crazy.
You just came up with that name?
Yeah, that was like just off the top.
That's his name.
What? For real? Oh. Wow, I'm gonna go buy a lotto ticket today. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Damn, son.
Whoa.
Well, yeah.
Holy shit.
Let's end it. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching another episode. Megan, thanks for tipping.
Tim, thanks for tipping.
And thank y'all for watching another episode of Thanks for Tipping. Bye.